You are now listening to the Ron Paul Radio Network, radio for the revolution.
Sounds like Vegas.
What's going on, y'all? You're back. I want to thank you if you're tuning in. I'm your host, Paco. You're listening to Occupy the Media. We got my guest on the line, Jake Peters, and also to everyone in the chat room. Shout out to you guys. Post your questions. If you can, do it during the commercials, and then I more likely will see it, and that'll be better. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Okay, so Jake, I got some questions that people are posting up on here, so I want to ask you.
Sure.
Somebody wants to know, where did you get your training? A debate class?
No, absolutely not. I got involved in the Ron Paul movement back in 2007, and at the time, I was very interested. After I got, like I said, hooked on Ron Paul as far as the only candidate that's honest and consistent, I decided to definitely do my part to help him get elected. And at first, that included sign waves and rallies and knocking doors and putting up signs, but that quickly evolved into going to conventions, just like I'm sure a lot of people did, but. At that point, I took an interest in making sure that the rules were followed, and from that point, I just continued to study. So this time around, I was a lot more well versed in the rules, and I think that builds your confidence and your willingness to stand up and demand that the rules be followed.
Okay, so you're reading the rules online, or they got the book? Where do you recommend everybody go to stay to really put study time into this? Because actually, I need to know for myself because I want to know as well.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is to definitely get a copy of your state party rules or bylaws / constitution, whatever they have in that state. But, further than that, you want to review the convention rules and your local party rules if there are any. Unfortunately, in Oklahoma, we don't have any standing local county or district rules, so there's a little bit of a gap there. And then on top of that, you do need to have a copy of Robert's Rules, the latest edition. It's $20, and it's a very good investment to understand how deliberative assemblies take place, so that all sides, including minorities, are protected and heard. And that's what Robert's Rules was founded on, is a smooth, orderly process at these deliberative assemblies, something that's been lost on a lot of the people that put these assemblies on and are so inept at doing so, that cause such chaos, like forced adjournments or pre-planned adjournments when they know the order of business cannot be accomplished in that amount of time, especially when credentials aren't approved till 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. So I have someone else asking here, when is the deadline to have all the paperwork submitted for the lawful parking lot convention? I guess somebody was there with you?
Yeah, a lot of people, were there, and I appreciate that. But, there's some preliminary deadlines where we have to submit some paperwork, I believe, 10 days after the convention, and efforts are underway to do that. So we'll be sure to, try to meet any deadlines and, represent this to the fullest. So.
Okay. And somebody wants to know, what's your take on Jesse Benton? We just got this email here, what was it, yesterday or today or this morning, basically saying that Romney's about to get the nomination wrapped up, which is not true. What's your take on that? What do you think, and how do you think Ron Paul supporters, especially people that are going to go to these conventions, how should we take it?
Well, I do think it's still up in the air, and it's going to depend on future events, so I don't think anybody knows the future. And as it's going right now, if we can keep representing at these conventions and maybe take these conventions, there are some other rules in place, but these rules are subject to change at the National Convention, at the Rules Committee. Each convention convened determines its own rules and its own, it's according to some party rules and stuff like that, but its own posture as to how it moves forward. So nothing's written in stone. Take that to heart, and then make sure that you show up, and represent. So regardless of the outcome, like I said, of these primaries coming up, we all understand that states have different rules regarding the binding or the apportionment to certain candidates. And we know that Ron Paul's got, delegates assigned to him, but we also have delegates assigned to other candidates who have already indicated that they are ending their campaigns. That can be released, for that. So I think there's a lot of potential going forward. Obviously, I can't speak for the national campaign on what their strategy is, but irregardless, whether Ron Paul is nominated or runs, I think is already guaranteed he's going to be nominated from the floor. But whether he thinks he has a chance or not, we need to show up and fight for the platform, the rules of the party, and everything else that's part of it.
So we can change it. So we
yeah,
can change it regardless.
Yeah, we can change it regardless. Even the vice presidential nomination is up to the convention on who they nominate and elect. Yes, historically here in the modern times, presidential candidates that have it locked up or sewn up pretty much get to choose who they want. But this is going to be a highly contested race, and so everything is up in the air, and the cards have not fallen. So I think we all need to be in there and impacting the process as much as we can.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of felt a little offended and hurt. I was actually talking to some people on Facebook today, someone that wrote him an email personally back telling him, they were highly upset with him. So I think because we put so much time in this, and like yourself, I mean, for you to know the rules like you did, obviously you were studying and know what you were doing, and that takes time. And when we put this effort in and we do all of this, we don't need our own team making it harder for us, basically, so to speak. And so I feel the frustration. I heard it on the chat room earlier. I hear it when I'm talking to Ron Paul supporters. But like you said, we got to stay focused. We got to get out there, get more people to become delegates, more people to know these rules. I need to give me a copy ASAP. Based on what happened at the convention, is there any certain rules? Because everybody has their own local rules, but as far as Robert's rules, any rules in particular that really stick out to you that we should be on a lookout for, that they were breaking?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain rules that demand a roll call vote be taken on votes if there's a certain number in attendance that require it, or more simply stated, if a division is called and it's still in doubt as to a standing count, you have over 1,000 people convened. It's pretty hard to visually look out and say these people have it. If it's close, if it's definite, then that's pretty easy. But if it's close, you need to be prepared to call for a counted division, where tellers go out and count those standing, yay and in the nay, so that it can be truly determined. But roll call votes, especially when you have apportioned votes.
So hold on. When you said when it's too close to call, that's when they do the stand-up vote, where they actually go and they count. If
you call for division, it's a simple standing, and then the chair gets an opportunity to declare one way or the other his ruling as to how the vote went. But if it's close, you still need to, call for a counted division, where tellers actually count those standing, or even further, a roll call vote, so that the apportionment can be figured out. If you're within 2 or 3%, that's well within a margin of error when you're talking that delegates are apportioned. So every delegate there represents up to, like I said, 2 votes here in Oklahoma. So it's very important to determine how the votes really lay, because it's impossible to tell when it's close who has it.
Yeah, we need, and that goes to show how important every vote counts. I mean, it's real tight. Watching these, I know you were there on the live stream. Watching it, man, you can only imagine. It was like watching pay-per-view. It's like your heart racing, heart beating, and everything. And one thing too, before we head to the next break, I want to shout out to everyone that sent the money and ordered the pizzas, because I know that definitely helped you guys out, and it was so awesome to see all you guys screaming Ron Paul on the camera with, I forgot how many thousands of people internationally was watching it. What'd you think about that?
It was definitely energizing, and the pizza was definitely needed. So it was, it was perfect timing on the basis of people that were watching us, and I think that just highlights the amazement of the people, standing up again, like I said, to assert their rights and make sure the rules are followed, but also to have stamina to push through when things don't go according to plan.
That's right. Okay, we're gonna head to a break. Just stay on the line, and we'll be back.
All right.
America is in trouble.
Washington is a disgrace.
Government has become too big. It's overtaxing, overspending. We need to change direction.
We really need change.
We can't afford to make the same mistakes we've made in the past.
Mitt Romney's reputation as a flip-flopper.
He went the other way when he got paid to go the other way.
There is need for economic stimulus.
It's about serial hypocrisy.
This election is about trust. There's been one true, consistent candidate, and that's Dr. Ron Paul.
Ron Paul has been so consistent from the very beginning.
He seems like a more honest candidate.
He tells the truth about what he believes, whether you like it or not.
He's never once voted for a tax increase, never once voted for an unbalanced budget.
Ron Paul's plan is bold, cut 5 departments. It's what we need.
When he says he's going to cut $1 trillion in the first year, I believe it.
If you don't like how things are going and you're tired of politicians, he's something different.
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul. Ron Paul
is the one we've been looking for.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.